In 2004, Bacardi paid $2.2 billion for a vodka brand that didn't even exist 7 years earlier. Grey Goose was pure imagination turned into liquid gold. Sidney Frank transformed the humble people's drink of Poland and Russia into the ultimate symbol of American luxury. He achieved it using nothing but psychology and French mysticism to execute one of the boldest marketing deceptions in history. Grey Goose was conceived as a marketing concept before a single drop was ever distilled. First, the brand was born, then the vodka came later. Frank understood something shocking about human nature. People pay for perception, not for the product. In just 7 years, he built a luxury empire out of nothing. He sold it for $2.2 billion and walked away with most of that money in his pocket. We're talking about a marketing illusion so sophisticated that millions of consumers never realized they were being manipulated. This investigation reveals how Frank used behavioral science to deceive an entire generation of drinkers. He rewrote the rules of luxury branding and created a blueprint that companies still follow today. If you're ready to discover how the luxury industry really works, smash the like button and subscribe for more shocking business revelations. Now, to understand this billion-dollar illusion, we need to meet the marketing genius who built it from scratch. Sidney Frank was a college dropout who became a billionaire by understanding a single truth about human psychology. Born into poverty on a farm in Connecticut in 1919, Frank was accepted into Brown University but had to drop out because he couldn't afford it. His lucky break came when he married Louise Rosenthal, whose father owned Schenley distilleries. Frank learned the liquor business from the inside, and his brilliance revealed itself very early on. He took Jägermeister, an obscure German digestif that was only consumed by elderly immigrants, and turned it into the most popular college party drink of the 1980s. His secret weapon was the Jägerettes, an army of promotional models who made that bitter herbal liqueur irresistible to young Americans. In the 1990s, Frank spotted something huge. Drinking habits in the United States were shifting from beer to sophisticated cocktails, driven by shows like Sex and the City. While everyone else was competing in the crowded premium vodka market, Frank saw a different opportunity. Absolut dominated the market at $17 per bottle. But the shrewd entrepreneur recognized that there was room above it for true luxury positioning. He didn't want to compete with existing brands. He wanted to transcend them entirely. Frank understood that vodka is, by nature, colorless, odorless, and tasteless. People were literally paying for perception, not for the product. Armed with this psychological insight, he was about to execute one of the boldest pricing strategies in business history. The man who couldn't afford college was about to prove that in America, luxury can be created out of absolutely nothing. Frank deliberately chose to charge $30 for Grey Goose when premium competitors were priced at $17. The psychology behind why this worked will surprise you. While any rational competitor would have tried to undercut Absolut at $10, Frank did the opposite and set the price at $30, 76% higher than Absolut's $17 premium benchmark. Most people thought he was crazy, but Frank understood something profound about human nature. Consumers don't evaluate products objectively. They rely on contextual cues and emotional triggers to determine value. In the case of luxury goods, people automatically assume that the more expensive option is higher quality. This creates a self-fulfilling prophecy where expensive equals better, regardless of what's actually inside the bottle. Research shows that this psychological manipulation works. Studies on wine reveal that people rate the exact same wine 70% higher when they believe it costs $45 instead of $5. Their brains literally taste a difference that doesn't exist. Frank had turned pure psychology into a weapon. The high price maintained an illusion of exclusivity and scarcity, key psychological triggers behind the desire for luxury. If Grey Goose cost the same as everything else, why would anyone believe it was special? Frank was surprisingly honest about his strategy years later. He admitted that producing vodka was simple. You make it today and sell it tomorrow. There's no need to invest money in buildings, machines, or warehouses. In other words, Frank created hundreds of millions in profit margins by manipulating consumer psychology instead of improving the actual product. He used people's minds against them. The margins were astronomical, but that was exactly the point. Every extra dollar customers paid was psychological manipulation converted directly into money. Frank had cracked the code of luxury pricing. But price alone wasn't enough to justify those outrageous costs in the consumer's mind. In 1997, France didn't even have vodka distilleries when he decided to create the world's first French vodka. He chose France deliberately, despite its lack of any vodka tradition, precisely because it wasn't Eastern Europe. Consumers instinctively associate France with luxury, champagne, wine, fashion, gastronomy. The entrepreneur decided to lean on that centuries-old reputation. The timing was perfect. Cognac distilleries were sitting nearly idle as cognac declined in popularity, leaving unused production capacity. Frank recruited François Thibault, a master distiller from the Cognac region, to add credibility and an authentic French connection. Together, they selected premium ingredients, wheat from Picardy and limestone-filtered water from the Cognac region, to build an elaborate story around the product. In 1998, Grey Goose received a rating of Best Vodka in the World, with a score of 96 out of 100 from the Beverage Tasting Institute. Most people had never heard of that institute, but that didn't matter. The marketing genius ran full-page ads in the Wall Street Journal promoting that score. He was teaching consumers to buy vodka by numbers, as if it were wine, creating the illusion of an objective measurement of quality. Packaging psychology was also crucial. The distinctive frosted glass bottle featured French geese and flag iconography, subtly reinforcing the narrative of French luxury without being too obvious. The team even shipped the bottles to bars in wooden crates, like wine, instead of the cardboard boxes used by other vodka brands. This sent a premium quality signal to bartenders, who became key advocates for the brand. Every detail was calculated to manufacture mystique around a product that had never existed before this entrepreneur imagined it. The French story gave consumers permission to pay luxury prices for what was essentially grain alcohol. He had created an entire mythology of luxury out of nothing. But storytelling alone wasn't enough to reach the sophisticated urbanites he was targeting. With the perfect narrative in place, the mind behind the brand was ready to turn Grey Goose into the vodka of choice for New York's elite. Not by accident, but through one of the most calculated product placement campaigns ever executed. The hit HBO series Sex and the City was deliberately chosen to showcase Grey Goose. The four main characters ordered it in trendy Manhattan bars, portraying sophisticated, attractive urbanites living aspirational lifestyles. This wasn't random product placement. It was surgical targeting. But the true masterstroke was infiltrating the charity circuit. The entrepreneur came up with the brilliant strategy of donating Grey Goose to any charity event that wanted vodka at its bar. These events attracted exactly his target audience: wealthy, sophisticated people capable of paying for luxury products. Charity gala attendees became unpaid brand ambassadors, spreading Grey Goose's reputation within elite social circles. Word of mouth from trusted friends carries infinitely more weight than advertising. High-end bartenders became critical advocates after experiencing the brand's attention to detail in packaging and presentation. When influential bartenders recommend a spirit, their customers listen. The cultural impact was undeniable. Within a few years, Grey Goose began appearing in rap lyrics by Jay-Z, Kanye West, Nicki Minaj, and Kid Cudi. This proved its cross-cultural luxury appeal, spanning from Manhattan socialites to hip-hop royalty. It never compromised its luxury positioning by entering the mass market or lowering prices. Exclusivity always remained the priority. Even today, the strategy continues to pay off. In 2024, the partnership with the US Open generated massive revenue through the Honey Deuce cocktail. The drink saw a 23.5% increase in sales, with a record 556,000 servings, generating $12.8 million. All of that from a single cocktail at a single event. The celebrity seduction machine had worked perfectly. But while celebrities and socialites fell under the spell of Grey Goose mystique, industry experts began asking uncomfortable questions about what was actually inside the bottle. Beverage specialists argue that premium vodka is often identical to much cheaper versions, and the Costco Conspiracy that follows Grey Goose suggests they might be right. Industry professionals claim that premium vodka marketing is largely irrelevant, since vodka's very purpose is to be colorless, odorless, and tasteless. If you can detect a flavor difference, it's technically a bad vodka. For nearly 2 decades, persistent rumors have circulated that Costco's Kirkland vodka is actually Grey Goose in different packaging. The company has repeatedly denied these claims, with executives explicitly stating that they only produce Grey Goose. But the fact that people can't distinguish between a $15 vodka and a $50 one reveals just how psychological the premium market really is. Experts consistently debunk the myths that premium brands love to promote. The number of times a vodka is distilled doesn't matter, despite brands boasting about multiple distillations as if it were some magical process. Blind taste tests consistently show that consumers cannot tell the difference between premium and standard vodkas once branding is removed. The only real flavor differences come from the base ingredient: wheat versus corn versus potato. The entrepreneur himself later acknowledged this uncomfortable truth. Sidney Frank admitted that creating a luxury vodka was about convincing people there was magic where none existed. There was no magic in creating a luxury brand. He just had to convince everyone else that there was. That's a direct quote from the man who made over $1 billion selling perception. Despite all the criticism from experts, Grey Goose maintains its premium prices and continued selling 4.2 million cases globally through 2023. The illusion remains profitable, even when people know it's an illusion. Critics may be right in saying the liquid is identical to cheaper alternatives, but their protests haven't affected sales. In the luxury market, psychology always beats logic. In 2004, Bacardi paid $2.2 billion for Grey Goose, and what it has done with the brand since then reveals whether the illusion was worth the price. The acquisition came after just 7 years on the market, when Grey Goose was selling 1.5 million cases per year. 2/3 of the purchase price went directly into Sidney Frank's pocket, making him a billionaire through a marketing concept. Frank died on January 10, 2006, at the age of 86 from heart failure while traveling on his private plane between San Diego and Vancouver. He had barely 2 years to enjoy his fortune. Before his death, he donated most of his wealth. $100 million went to Brown University, the institution he had dropped out of decades earlier because he couldn't afford it. He also awarded a $23.8 million bonus to his longtime secretary. Bacardi positioned Grey Goose alongside other premium acquisitions like Bombay Sapphire Gin and Dewar's Whiskey. They understood they were buying more than vodka. They were buying a luxury brand blueprint. And Bacardi continues to innovate within that framework. In 2024, they launched Grey Goose Altius, an ultra-premium version filtered at sub-zero temperatures. The brand can still command higher prices even 20 years later. The evolution of the marketing continues, with sophisticated campaigns like the Boulangerie François project, which features bread made from the same French wheat used in the vodka. Since then, spirits entrepreneurs around the world have tried to replicate this success. Based on current sales volumes and premium pricing, Bacardi appears to have generated substantial returns on its initial investment. The brand continues to sell to this day. The man who couldn't afford college created a money-printing machine that outlived him. 20 years later, Grey Goose's influence on luxury marketing extends far beyond vodka, permanently transforming how we perceive premium brands. Sidney Frank proved that in the luxury market, perception is worth more than the product. Story is more powerful than substance, and psychology is more profitable than innovation. Grey Goose single-handedly created the super premium vodka category and set the model for building modern luxury brands. Its success reveals just how much of the luxury industry operates on manufactured mystique rather than true superiority. Understanding the Grey Goose strategy helps consumers recognize when they're paying for marketing instead of quality. Frank's model is everywhere today, from fashion to technology, gastronomy. The college dropout who turned grain alcohol into liquid gold changed how entire industries think about pricing and positioning. His legacy lives on in every luxury brand that charges premium prices for ordinary products wrapped in extraordinary stories. If this exploration of the dark arts of luxury marketing opened your eyes to how brands manipulate your wallet, hit like and subscribe for more shocking revelations about the industries that shape our world. Want to see how another iconic brand built its empire on pure illusion? Watch our next video.